Hello everyone, there's this ship out there called Bermuda, and I wanted to know what the length of it is. Right now, earlier when I took the measurements, the ship was sitting more horizontal to me. Right now the current has kind of turned it so that the stern is basically kind of in my direction, but earlier on I had it more horizontal, and I was able to use my rangefinder, right, to basically get on it and basically measure it at 1,300 yards. Now, the max capacity of this rangefinder is 1,400 yards. So what I want to know is what is the length of that ship, and the reason why I want to know what the length of that ship is if that ship goes beyond the capacity of my rangefinder, I want to be able to use a mil scope to figure out the distance. Okay, so the scope that I'm working with today, I'll pull that out, is this Primary Arms PLX 1:8 by 24, right? So the beautiful thing about this, it's a first focal plane scope, which means you see different images when you're zoomed in versus when you're zoomed out. And the great thing about this is that, let me see if I can line this up. Right, so that duplex reticle is actually a total of 200 mils horizontal and 200 mils vertical. Okay, so I was able to use this scope to measure that ship out there, right, when it was sitting horizontal to me, at 130 mils going across. So that's one of the great things about this particular scope, the fact that you've got a total of 200 mils on the horizontal stadium and 200 mils on the vertical stadium. You can measure out big ships like that. Hold on, let me pause this camera. So yeah, so one of the things that this scope can do, and so far, as far as I can tell, only this scope, is measure out big things like cargo ships, airplanes, because you've got 200 mils vertical and 200 mils horizontal. Okay, so right now that ship is within the range of my rangefinder. I was able to measure it out at 1,300 yards. Okay, 14 is my max capacity. So if it goes further out, I won't know what the distance is. So what I did is I did some reverse math. Okay, I know that ship is at 1,300 yards, and what I did is I multiplied that by the number of mils that I measured, which was 130. Okay. Then I divided by, well, it's a noisy area. Obviously I'm by a highway here. So then I divided by the conversion factor 27.77. All right. And what was the other math? And then I divided, I think, by 12, because basically it gave me I think it gave me a number like 6,000, which is basically told me it was like 6,000 inches long. So then I divided it by 12 to get the number at the feet. So that ship out there is about 507 feet long. Okay, so now that I know that's 507 feet long, when it goes further out, to a further distance, I can figure out what the yardage is, because I was able to figure out its exact length while it was within the range of my rangefinder. Okay, so I think that this is a very I think it's a really cool thing to be able to do. So I hope this video was interesting for you guys, as it is for me, because obviously I want to be doing the video trying to find this extremely interesting. So obviously this is like bordering on like really almost like tactical geek here. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to y'all soon. Hey everyone, I decided to take the tactical geekiness one step further. So a few minutes ago, the stern was almost pointed perfectly at me. So I put the rangefinder on it, and it came in at 1,000 yards, right? So the ship has moved a little bit since I took the initial measurement. So, and then I took out the scope, I put it on it, and I measured the width of the ship, 30 mils, okay? So right now it's at 1,000 yards, and the width of the ship is 30 mils wide. So then I took out the calculator and did some math, okay? So what I did is I took the 1,000 yards multiplied it by the 30 mils, all right, and it came up with some number, all right. And then what I did is I divided by the conversion factor 27.77, and then I think I also divided it again by 12 by 12 inches, and it gave me a measurement of 90 feet. So that ship is about, the width of that ship is 90 feet, about 90 feet wide. Okay, I pretty much kind of rounded everything off. So now we know that that ship is about 510 feet long, about 90 feet wide. So wherever that ship is, if that ship goes further out, like let's say it goes 2 or 3 miles out, right, I can still, you know, I'll be able to see it in my scope. And regardless of whether you know, I need it sitting either with it stern to me or with, you know, one of the sides, either port side or starboard side, you know, one of the sides being perfectly horizontal to me, and I can basically use my mill scope, all right, this primary arms PLX 1-8, basically the M8 Raptor reticle. I can use that to figure out exactly how far that ship is. So I'll talk to you all soon. I hope you guys are enjoying this.